Good evening, everybody. Pretty quiet out there tonight after those rumbles of thunder earlier today. I do want to talk about some of that activity. Again, the Weather Service put out that tornado warning earlier today, around, I think it was about 3:20, 3:30. And the challenge is the radar was seeing the rotation. In fact, there was some rotation on a lot of those storms, but it was way above the ground. And the way it was set up today, we were not expecting tornadoes, even though we had some rotation in the storms. It's just the fact that just because it's rotating on radar does not mean you're going to see a tornado. And I think they caught on very quickly to that because there were additional storms that they could have done the same thing for that they didn't. So that was really good, and I applaud them for that. Because just because the storm's rotating does not mean it's going to produce a tornado. In fact, most bigger storms do rotate. That is how they go about continuing the process of the updraft and the downdraft and the overall setup of the storm. That's how they work. That's how they continue on. And again, the reason we don't bring up tornadoes a lot, at least our station doesn't in the forecast, is when you're dealing with these EF0 environments, I don't really want it to throw out the tornado word because it creates much more panic than's necessary. And if that storm would have produced something, it would have likely been a very small tornado with 60-mile-an-hour winds. So again, I just want to preface that because it's happening more and more often that we're getting a lot of these forecasts that say, well, we can't rule out a tornado. And it's like, well, if we're going to do all this research and spend all this money on research and then just throw tornado warnings out, it really doesn't make a whole lot of sense. So again, I really wish we could get a criteria, and I've talked to the Weather Service about this, where you come up with a different name or something for this type of tornado, this spin-up brief tornado, because a lot of people, if I were to mention, hey, we may have some tornadoes, everyone's going to think of the big, damaging, significant tornadoes. And that is not the case at all. So it's a big challenge there when it comes to this. And it's real challenging because you've got a lot of other meteorologists, and then you've got a lot of just high school kids that are out there. And they'll see, in fact, we had several reports of there was the correlation coefficient was triggering, it looked like it, but it wasn't. And we had other meteorologists saying, well, here's the debris signature. And I saw another site say, here's the debris ball. And that was just nonsense. They float these terms around. Again, stay with us. It's really bad. We're going to let you know. So again, here's the setup tonight out there. We've just got a couple of showers. May get a little bit of lightning and thunder overnight tonight and locally heavy rain. The primary concern is going to be heavy rainfall, and that's going to continue tomorrow as well. So as we go through the forecast here, live look at the parkway, looking at the clouds kind of there. I was looking at that earlier today. Hello, Kristen. Yeah, glad it wasn't bad today. Again, we didn't think it was going to be that bad. And one of the other challenges is the introduction of this marginal risk for severe weather, and I hate it. I actually hate the way they have the severe weather 1 through 5 now. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me. Anyway, that's the Storm Prediction Center. And again, I'll get off my soapbox. We'll go on to the temperatures. 73 degrees right now. A little fog developing out there tonight too. 77 in Muscle Shoals, and it's 70 in Fort Payne. Yeah, we had a big thunderstorm. I got home, my wife said, man, it was really rumbling. I'm like, yeah, there's a lot of lightning. That was really the biggest impact out there. We had a couple of isolated areas with some trees down, but I always kind of look at the side of the road when I'm in the forested areas, and I'm like, there's a lot of trees down, so there's a lot of opportunity. I don't know what that tornado watch on the Arsenal was about. There wouldn't have been, I'm not sure if they've got their own terminology or what, but that tornado warning came out, included southeast Madison County, and that was about it. But as we look at the satellite and radar, you kind of see a distinct area back to the west near Memphis. That's what's going to roll through here tomorrow morning. And one of the challenges with this forecast is there's an upper level low that's going to kind of situate itself as we go into Friday. So I've increased the chance of rain Friday now to 30%. And 30%, I think that's a pretty good chance of rain. Now here's tonight's model guidance. Take it with a grain of salt. It's not acting too well right now. This will be 11 o'clock, a few showers, a few storms, maybe down towards Smith Lake around midnight tonight. Locally heavy rain, nothing severe. We're dropping the first alert weather day during our 10 o'clock news tonight. We'll just have the open and stuff like that with it. But overall, there's no threat of severe weather tomorrow. A few isolated stronger storms. By 5 o'clock, locally heavy rain in some areas. But you notice the difference here on this model guidance as compared to what we had earlier today. Overall, not nearly as much. So some very heavy rain, some welcome rain we had today. We'll see a little bit of that tomorrow. And now I want to get into Friday here. We'll start off cooler. That's the front. The front's coming through, but there's going to be an upper level low to the south and maybe even a surface low developing along the old frontal boundary. And as that happens, what you're going to see is some of this moisture getting pulled. So it's going to track from Georgia into North Alabama. And this will be 9 o'clock Friday. No big deal there, but see the blow up of showers, maybe some thunder. Somebody must be thinking about me. My nose is itching. That or it's the ragweed. I'd say it's probably the ragweed. As we take a look at noon Friday, notice the cluster of showers and storms there over DeKalb County and Marshall County, and that's kind of going up and around this upper level low. So the best chance of rain Friday is going to be along and east of I-65. So we'll watch that. Here's your 3-day forecast. 81 isolated showers and storms tomorrow. Friday, we've got a 30% chance of these showers and storms, but most of that's going to be over DeKalb County, Jackson County, Marshall County, maybe southeast Madison County. And then the sunshine comes back Saturday and Sunday. I'm going to take a quick break. I'll be back in 1 minute, and don't go anywhere. All right, we're almost there. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Overall, we're going to stop the break. Here's your 10-day forecast. We are looking at 81 tomorrow, 81 Friday, and then a really nice weekend. We're going to get back into the situation where we have really comfortable evenings, comfortable mornings, and I did not see the rainbow from Macedonia. Oh, you too, sissy. So overall, we're going to get back to a drier weather pattern. So I think we're in that situation here in fall where every front that comes in, we're going to stair-step down. There's still always that possibility we may hit 90 even in the month of October, but right now we're trending into the right direction here. Drier weather, overnight lows consistently around 60 degrees, afternoon highs in the low to mid 80s. There are signs that we may see some development over in the next 10 days or so, or maybe 2 weeks. And I mentioned this a couple days ago as well, down in the Gulf. So we'll have to watch that. If you got a vacation plan in the next couple of weeks, keep an eye on the Gulf. It's been very, very quiet. It's been very warm. I'm going to be sharing my video from my vacation at Mexico Beach, our big fishing trip down there, with meteorologist David Paul. He put together a nice video. Again, you can find that on his YouTube page already, but I'll share that with you guys here on Weather Extra tomorrow evening, beginning at 9:30. You guys take care. Again, I appreciate your time. Thank you for tuning in. We know you got lots of things you can do. Some of you are multitasking right now, I'm sure, trying to watch TV, watching your phone, watching the iPad, or maybe just streaming your favorite Netflix. You know, I went through the Black Bunny. I just saw that on Netflix. Pretty good show. My wife and I kind of agreed we didn't quite like the ending, but it's still good. It's still good. It's still good. Justin Bateman, his latest production with them. You guys take care. Appreciate it. Have a good night.